Hello and welcome. My name is Alan, and this is going to be the news and politics for the day of Tuesday, December the 5th, 2023. We are starting off with a piece by the lever here. It's not very long. Just a couple of questions and a short response in this, so. Okay. Welcome to a new edition of Left Wondering with Joel Stein, our advice column for paid subscribers of The Lever on how to lead an ethical life in an increasingly unethical world. Dear Left Wondering, I have been left wondering for many years why we no longer find beverages, etc., in recyclable glass bottles and jars. Truly recyclable. Doesn't leach toxins, is not carcinogenic, preserves flavors without adding its own. Bonus, the ingredients to make it comes from the ocean floor. Glass is sustainable. It was recycled before recycling became a fad. Probably even long before WW2 and ration coupons. Cold beverages taste better when served in an old mason jar, especially those made by Boyd. Sincerely, Alder Thundert. Dear Left Wondering, I am a 72-year-old woman living in Northern California's Bay Area. I remember as a child that charitable organizations and children like me would collect glass bottles and be reimbursed a few cents for each bottle. This was a win-win for the community and the company. Why can't we return to alternatives like glass, to plastics, and offer incentives to both communities and businesses to make the necessary changes in order to protect our planet for our own good and the good of future generations? Sincerely, Glass Act. Dear both of you, this is an advice column, not a matchmaking service. Nevertheless, I feel like there could be something special between you two. Perhaps you can go on a romantic date in a glass bottom boat, stay at a hotel with a glass elevator, shop for Waterford Crystal. I might, in fact, be able to start a glass enthusiast dating app. There are so many of you that the United Nations declared 2022 the International Year of Glass and even made an inspirational video about it, which I definitely did not get all the way through. Like both of you and the 254 people that have a video that gave that video a thumbs up over the 3 years it's been on YouTube. I love glass. I had an animal collection, glass animal collection as a kid that made me, I like to think, the Tennessee Williams character of J.P. Stevens High School. But we glass folks are artsy types who live in a dream world where we don't know enough about the hard facts of science. Yeah. I agree that glass is something we should look back to bringing back into usage. Because honestly, it is actually recyclable, whereas many plastics, even though they say recyclable, are not technically recyclable. I mean, glass and aluminum containers make so much more sense because we can actually recycle them. Glass itself is just made from um, sand, heated. And shaped, so yeah. And then an aluminum is refined aluminum shaped and everything. So it can be cycled on both. It would make a lot more sense than all the plastic we use as a world. Unfortunately, too many people are like, I prefer my comforts to be able to do what I wish. Alright, let's get into some of these charts I found that I thought were interesting. Anyway, comparing competitive balance across the world's most popular sports leagues. Two different ways of measuring balance. Long-term balance. Long-term balance is how much the whole history of the league is dominated by a small number of teams. It is just at how well distributed the championships are if the top few teams have won most of the available league titles. That would be very high long-term imbalance. Short-term balance. Short-term balance is a measure of how predictable the next season is based on the last few. If a team does well one season, how often will it continue to finish high in the league table for the next few seasons? If most seasons are predictable based on the previous ones, that is a very high short-term imbalance. So, looking at it, the more balanced is at the top and the least balanced is at the bottom. Copa Libertadores seem to be at the top on both. So that league stays very balanced. In long-term balance, NFL's number 2. In short-term, college basketball. Number 3, long-term, French Liga 1. In short-term, number 3 is Champions League. Number 4, Liga MX. In long-term, number 4 for short-term, Brasileirão is number 4 on short-term balance. And number 5, long-term balance, college basketball. Short-term balance, Major League Soccer. So yeah. Let's see. The most imbalanced, Spanish La Liga, both long-term and short-term. Going toward more balance. Over long-term, it's Premiership Rugby at number 2. Nippon Baseball at number 3. Italian Serie A at number 4. And Eredivisie at number 5. Short-term Eredivisie at number 2. Premiership Rugby at number 3. Italian Serie A at number 4. And Bundesliga at number 5. So, yeah. So you have teams that dominate very easily in the less balanced ones. The long-term metric only looks at title winners and doesn't care about when they won. It only cares about how many titles a team won over the whole history of a league and how widely distributed title wins are among the teams in the league. The charts below illustrate this metric, whereas the short-term metric looks at the top 4 teams each year and counts how often they return to the top 4 over the next 5 years, weighting a return the following season more heavily than a return a few years later. Short-term balance also weighs recent seasons slightly more heavily, losing a bit of weight each year going back. So the early history of the league counts less towards a short-term balance than recent leagues do. While the two metrics tend to agree, they don't have to. If all the titles in a league were won by the same 6 teams, but repeats were rare, and the top 4 were unpredictable from season to season, that would be bad long-term balance, but good short-term. Whereas if the same few teams are dominating the league season to season, but which teams are on top tends to change every decade or so that no one team has dominated the overall history of the league, that would be bad short-term, but good long-term. League results. These tables show championship winners in each league in terms of percentage of total available championships. Copa Libertadores, which is South American Championship soccer. Number 1, they have Independiente, followed by Boca Juniors, and then Peñarol. Men's college basketball at the top, UCLA, then Kentucky, then North Carolina. Ligue 1, France soccer, at the top is Paris Saint-Germain. Next is Marseille and Saint Etienne tied. NFL, American football. At the top, Green Bay Packers. You got to remember, 1960s, they were in Super Bowls 1 and 2, and even before that, they were winning what was just NFL championships at that time. So, Green Bay was at one point called Titletown, USA. Behind them is a tie between the New York Giants and the Chicago Bears. Yeah, again, Bears and Giants, they have a lot of history in the pre-Super Bowl years. So, yeah. from Liga MX, Mexican soccer. At the top, America. Next, Club España. And behind them is Guadalajara. Brasileirão Série A, Brazil soccer. Palmeiras, followed by Santos, and then a tie between Flamengo and Corinthians. UEFA Champions League, European soccer. At the top, Real Madrid, followed by Milan, and then a tie at third for Bayern Munich and Liverpool. Let's see. MLS, Major League Soccer, US. At the top, the LA Galaxy. Behind them, the DC United. And at third is a tie between Columbus Crew and the Seattle Sounders. Let's see. Major League Baseball, American Baseball. At the top, Yankees by an insane margin. They're followed by the St. Louis Cardinals. And then third is a tie between the Boston Americans / Red Sox and the Philadelphia / Oakland Athletics. So yeah. Showing you some of the previous locations of some of these teams. Yeah, the A's weren't always in Oakland. They started out in Philly. The Red Sox weren't always called the Red Sox. So yeah. American baseball is over 100 years old. There's quite a bit of stories in that sport. But yeah. EuroLeague. They've got Real Madrid, followed by CSKA Moscow, and then a tie for third with Panathinaikos and Maccabi Elite Tel Aviv. NHL, US-Canada Hockey. At the top, number one, the Montreal Canadiens by quite a lead. They're followed by the Toronto Arenas, St. Patrick's, Maple Leafs. So 3 different names for the Toronto team. And at number 4 is Detroit Red Wings. So yeah. Australian Football League. Aussie Rules Football. At the top, top 3 teams are all in a tie. Collingwood, Essendon, and Carlton. Argentine Primera División. Argentina Soccer. At the top, River Plate. Followed by Boca Juniors. And third is Racing. National Rugby League, Australia. At the top, South Sydney Rabbitohs, followed by a tie between St. George Dragons and the Eastern Suburbs / Sydney Roosters. Kind of like the name St. George Dragons. That's pretty cool. Premier League, English Soccer. At the top, Manchester United. Followed closely by Liverpool and then Arsenal. The NBA U.S. basketball. At the top, we have a tie between the Boston Celtics and the Minneapolis slash Los Angeles Lakers. And in third is the Philadelphia slash Golden State Warriors. Yeah, remember, the Lakers started out as the Minneapolis Lakers because Minnesota is the land of 1,000 lakes. That's where the name comes from. The Clippers are actually the original Los Angeles basketball team. So, yeah. Oh, goodness. Yeah, Celtics right up there. That Celtics Laker rivalry is just tied, man. It's probably one of the best in sports. Bundesliga, German soccer. At the top, Bayern Munich with a huge lead, followed by Nuremberg, and then Borussia Dortmund. Nippon Professional Baseball, Japanese baseball. Yep, because in Japanese, the name of Japan is Nippon. At the top, the Yomiuri Giants, followed by the Nishitetsu slash Saitama Seibu Lions, and in third, Nankai slash Fukuoka Dale slash SoftBank Hawks. Serie A, Italian soccer. At the top, Juventus, followed by a tie between Milan and Internazionale slash Ambrosiana. Eredivisie, Netherlands soccer. And at the top, Ajax, followed by PSV Eindhoven, and in third, Feyenoord. Premiership Rugby, England Rugby Union. At the top, Leicester, followed by a three-way tie between Bath, Wasps, and Saracens. And then La Liga, Spanish soccer. At the top, Real Madrid, which is the most dominant team across all the leagues data was compiled for, winning over 38% of Spanish football top division titles, followed by Barcelona, and then Atletico Madrid. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. Let's look at some more charts here. These, what it say it was, did you know that 37% of Germany's World War II casualties were civilian? These are casualties during World War II, and it shows civilian versus total deaths. Germany had around 5.5 million dead total, but 37% were civilian deaths. Um, Poland, poor Poland, man. Right around 6 million dead, but 97% were civilian. That is devastating. Then we have smaller deaths. The UK, right around a half a mil, but 15% were civilian. So, United States, about 400,000, 3% were civilian. And then Canada, uh, I'll say about 100,000, 4% were civilian. So yeah, it's some interesting statistical anomalies. And comparing GDP per capita and life expectancy for 2021. The vertical chart is GDP, and horizontal is life expectancy. Shortest life, blue, yellow, red. I'm not sure whose flag that is, or who any of these really are. So yeah, but you can see these people right here below 55 is the life expectancy. Although we've got at the top end 85. Japan, it has a long-lived population. There's South Korea, UK. I think this is supposed to be Australia. I believe. That's Canada. Canada. Not Canada. Sorry, Canadians. Let's see. The US, of course, right here. You notice we are back here way. Well, look at these two. They have huge lifespans. Most of them live over 85 years of age. I thought Japan's was high on the life expectancy, but we got two that's top it even. So, yeah. And then income, I believe that's Russia. Russia and France are very similar. They have the same colors except one's vertical stripes and the other's horizontal stripes. So, yeah. I believe the horizontal are Russia, if I remember right. Not guaranteed, but yeah. So, Russia, whoever this is, seems to be doing pretty good as far as both income and life expectancy. That might be India, though I'm probably wrong on that. I would think their income lower. Yeah, there's India, the little ball in the center. So yeah, I don't know who that is above then. Hmm. Do, do. Let's see. we've got a lot of different countries represented here. Life for these guys suck. Low life expectancy, low income. But you notice one of the correlating things is the more income, the longer your life expectancy gets, especially when you start getting around here. Once you cross that $20,000 threshold, you start seeing life expectancy rise. You really see it over here. Yeah. US, we're at about 62,000 on an average pay scale. And then as far as life, we are just over 75. But yeah, Russia, these three countries right here, killing it on the income to life scale. That may be, no, I think France is vertical. Russia is horizontal. I'm not sure. That, I believe, is Germany. Some flags, it's hard to tell because they look so similar to other flags. Then other flags, it's like, yep, I recognize that. See, India's telling because it's got that little inner circle. Japan, it was telling because it's just the red sun on the white background. South Korea's is very, well, where'd I go? South Korea's is always very decorated. Canada, red, white, red with the red maple leaf. The UK, if you know the Union Jack, you know the UK. Bum, 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 bum. The United States, 13 stripes, 50 stars. Yep, red, white, and blue. I think that is Switzerland. The cross. Very easily could be wrong on that. But yeah. Interesting nonetheless. I love some good charts, some statistics to look at. Now, let's look at some stories here. Mathematics reading skills in unprecedented decline in teenagers. I can't read it because I've reached my article limit. That's okay. We know there's the heading there. So mathematics reading skills in unprecedented decline. I'm wondering if that's worldwide or U.S. or that's the only thing I'm kind of curious on. Anyway, let's look at the Guardian. Still not for sale. Keep it up, Guardian. Misinformation experts say she was fired by Harvard under Meta pressures. Joan Donovan says funding was cut off for criticizing Meta when the university was receiving $500 million from Mark Zuckerberg's charity. So, yeah, money again used as the bully stick. Oh, you don't like one of our people criticizing you? We are sorry, oh great Lord Zuckerberg. And that's essentially what's happened, or what is proposed to have happened. One of the world's leading experts on misinformation says she was fired by Harvard University for criticizing Meta at a time that the school was being pledged $500 million from Zuckerberg's charity. Joan Donovan says her funding was cut off, she could not hire assistants, and she was made the target of a smear campaign by Harvard employees. In a legal filing with the U.S. Education Department and the Massachusetts Attorney General, first published by the Washington Post, she said her right to free speech had been abrogated. Nice term there, guys. I like it. Abrogated. Also from Reuters, headline reads, despite Gaza death toll soaring, U.S. unlikely to rethink weapons supplies to Israel. It shouldn't be this difficult, guys. You know, our money should not be going over to Israel so they can utterly and completely decimate this tiny strip of land because they want the land itself, and the fact that we now know it holds fossil fuels underneath it. It's all about resources. All about power. All about, yeah. From the New Republic. The edits Republicans are making to the January 6th tapes. House Speaker Mike Johnson confirmed news of the disturbing edits. Republicans are leaving nothing up to interpretation. On Tuesday, Speaker Mike Johnson unequivocally admitted that the Conservative Party is doctoring footage of the January 6 insurrection to prevent the identification of the rioters in an investigation by the Justice Department. We have to blur some of the faces of persons who participated in the events that day because we don't want them to be retaliated against and to be charged by the DOJ. Retaliated against? No, we don't want that, but they need to be charged by the DOJ. That's what they're there for. These guys were rioting. They were committing terror, and you're protecting them. That's not what you're supposed to do. That's a slow process to get it done. We're working steadily on it. We've hired additional personnel to do that, and all of those tapes ultimately will be out so everybody can see them and draw their own conclusions, he added. The blur could also be an attempt to stop armchair sleuths on the internet from identifying the rioters, a process that could help expedite the lengthy investigation required to process more than 40,000 hours of footage and put names and histories to the 2,000 rioters in attendance that day. Johnson previously claimed he would release the footage so people could see for themselves what happened on January 6th, but apparently he didn't mean without edits. Oh, dear God. The right wing gets more and more right wing. They're already verging on fascist fucking territory, but some Americans don't seem to give a damn. They're just like, I speak what I think. From the AP, Vice President Harris breaks nearly 200-year-old record for Senate tiebreaker votes, casting her 32nd. That's interesting. Didn't realize she'd cast that many tie-breaking votes already in one term. But you consider that the freaking Senate is just divided on a line. It's like, yeah. I guess that would be true. From Rolling Stone, Republicans in New Hampshire want to ban abortion after 15 days gestation. That's before some women have even conceived. Of course, I mean, the extremists seem to keep wanting to try to push it, but they don't seem to get the fact that many Americans don't want that kind of bullshit. They want their rights to do things, whether your fucking desire to ass kiss a religion says not to or whatever. New Hampshire is a state that puts a lot of stock in the concept of freedom. Live, die, or free is stamped on its license plates. It's home to the libertarian baiting Free State Project, and just a few weeks ago, the governor celebrated its ranking as the freest state in the country. But that embrace of freedom apparently only extends so far. A group of Republicans from both the state House and Senate have announced plans to introduce a bill that would ban almost all abortions after just 15 days gestation. Yeah, New Hampshire ites, people of New Hampshire, you might want to push back on these Republican monsters. I know some people are like, Republicans are more for freedom. No. Only what freedoms they want you to have. They're not more freedom. From The Guardian, I'm not buying new stuff anymore. The young people getting into degrowth. Amid the cost of living crisis and threats to the climate, many are pledging to consume less and spend sustainably. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I've always been a charity shop girl, says Rosie Copeman, a 32-year-old teacher from Leicestershire. In recent years, she has shifted from fast fashion towards renting and repairing clothes or buying secondhand or higher quality items. She has bought a waxed barber jacket that, while more expensive in the short term, she hopes will be cheaper overall due to its durability. For a friend's wedding, she hired a black Ghani dress for £50 from the app by Rotation. She also batch cooks food to avoid waste and prioritizes buying from ethical and sustainable companies. Yeah, that's why we've got two freezers, and they stay packed full. So we always have something. We can keep things refrigerated. Well, we used to be able to, but the winters have gotten so warm that you can't keep things just refrigerated naturally by leaving them outside in the winter. They don't stay that cool anymore. You used to be able to do that. Anyway, yeah. I can't blame them. I really can't. Prices have gotten too high. There's too many issues to be worried about being on top of fashion and everything. Yeah, this video annoys me a bit. Alabama police officer electrocutes man with taser while he's in handcuffs and seems to enjoy doing it. The cop has been placed on leave. Well, I mean, if you ever wonder why this is a thing, ACAB, all cops are bastards. Well, you can understand why, with as much crap as they pull. But yeah, let's watch this.
Stand up. Right there on the front of the car. Stay still.
I ain't doing shit, bro. I got gun right there. I'm not doing that.
Oh yeah.
I'm saying, what you saying? Oh, yeah, fuck. I'm not. Oh, my God. Okay. Down. Oh, my fuck. Oh, my God.
You want it again?
No, man.
Shut the. You was big and bad. Shut the.
Look at this bitch. Look at this bitch.
I ain't doing shit, bro. I got gun right there. I'm not doing that.
Oh yeah.
Okay, she grabs a gun, puts it on there. It's like he's claiming he ain't got no gun or anything. She's holding the taser to his back. He's already handcuffed, laying on the front of the car. He ain't doing shit.
What you saying? Oh, yeah, fuck. I'm not. Oh, my God. Okay. Down. Oh, my fuck. Oh, my God.
You want it again?
No, man.
Shut the. You was big and bad. Shut the.
See, cops like her need to be fucking released. It's ridiculous. Okay. We got another video here. Pause it. Israel directly extracting fossil fuels out from under Palestinian land. So they are pulling fossil fuels for money out from under Gaza, which shouldn't be theirs to access because supposedly Gaza is run by Palestinians only. Clearly that's not the fucking case.
I recently returned from the occupied Palestinian territories. There I witnessed Israel directly extracting fossil fuels out from under Palestinian land. Despite your regular condemnations of Israel's disregard for international law, the EU has rewarded Israel with a multi-million euro gas deal. And my question to you, Mr. Borrell, is why is one occupier's oil and gas more acceptable than another's?
And you got to remember what that's in reference to. Ukraine, Russia. So, they're not able to access Russia's right now since they are on the boycott of them. But that does not mean accepting from Israel someone else's oil and gas. So fucking slimy. All right. Yeah, this is what I was talking about, blurring the faces of the January 6th insurrectionists.
Trust the American people to draw their own conclusions. They should not be dictated by some narrative and accept that as fact. So they can review the tapes themselves. We're going through a methodical process of releasing them as quickly as we can. As you know, we have to blur some of the faces of persons who participated in the events of that day because we don't want them to be retaliated against and to be charged by the DOJ and to have other concerns and problems. So that's a slow process to get it done. We're working steadily on it. We've hired additional personnel to do that, and all of those tapes ultimately at the end will be out so everybody can see them and draw their own conclusion. Let me go to.
So you quite literally don't want the DOJ to do their job. Fuck you. Fuck you. And the last video. We know what's going on in Gaza, but here's a look at the West Bank. A bus brings settler terrorist house shopping. Take a look at what true entitlement and fascism looks like. Yeah, this made me angry.
هاي هون صار الاشي بمحض الصدفة؟ لا طبعا هذا الاشي بصير يوميا. باصات سياحية يهودية بتيجي بتعرفهم عن المنطقة بتورجيهم قديش انه المستوطنين عايشين هون يا حرام زي المساكين والعرب دايما هم البهجوم بس الاشي دايما بصير هون العكس.
כאן זה הבית הבעייתי ביותר, בוא נקרא לו ככה. גרים כאן, חציון של הבית, החלק החדש שאתם רואים, נבנה בצורה לא חוקית, ולכן בית המשפט החליט, היות וזו הפרה של תנאי הדייר המוגן, החליט לתת לנו את החלק שנבנה באופן לא חוקי.
ممنوع بالارض يا ما هلو هي كتب نور لا كتب شيكت انت مالك شيء شيكت راسك بندي لك مشترى
נוכל גם להוציא אותם מהבית וזה יקרה. נשמח לעדכן אתכם.
גנבים גנבים גנבים
גנבים. And let's go back and try and acquire more properties. Very nice, יפה מאוד. יש עוד דירה, יפה מאוד.
اجت
We're here to stay. Don't you ever forget it. You're a murderer. You are murderers. Murderer. You don't have.
They come in and they're taking the homes and lands of Palestinian families and act like it's just, oh, we're just settling. You're not settling, you're occupying, you're taking. You're monsters. That is not right in any situation. Any situation, it's not right. It's not even what happened with the Native Americans here in the U.S., it's not right. If I had power, there were certain areas I would give back to certain tribes. Because there are good swaths of land that should go back to the tribes, because there's not really anybody living there. Yet, you know, the way the land was taken, the land of Australia, taken from the Aborigines. That was wrong. It's not settling, it's occupying. But these fuckers think it's just fine. They're acting like they're going out to a yard sale, looking around. The guy's on the speakerphone. He's like, yeah, look at this house. It's got a few doors and stuff. You can look at the yard. Yeah, one bathroom. And these occupiers are making fun of the people whose land, whose home they're trying to take. You're monsters if you do that. Anyway, let's go ahead and end this episode here. As always, educate thyself. Think, read, study, learn. Someone tells you something you have trouble believing, ask them to cite their sources. I'll be putting these links in the description box below the video. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, later.